get through Thursday. This is much later in the novel, and it's not a spoiler because the novel itself, which is really can you hear me now? All right. And you couldn't for the last 45 minutes. So sorry. The novel is actually a collection of a book of linked stories, but with kind of an overarching arc. This is toward the end, but the novel has three kind of endings, three movements, three phenomena. And this is actually the first of them. And the village that sang to the sea is Larachi, and that's a city that actually exists. For 2 weeks in Larachi, I did not have nightmares. I did not weep. When the dreams and tears started up again, and were even worse, I knew what needed to be done. Even if I could lie with the creatures I loved in the sun, in a light that did not end, I did not want to leave. I wanted to be with the people I knew, and the people I would meet in my life in this body of mine. To do this, I would have to leave Larachi. Its stories were not mine. I was lucky. My parents, too, knew I needed to leave. They knew that the doctors and trips were never going to help. They knew somewhere inside them, though they could not have expressed it, that it was indeed the magic of the village that was making me sick, making me change. The night came when I woke in my bedroom to fire, every inch of my skin roaring as it tried to become what I both wanted and didn't want it to be. My pajamas were gone. I'd thrown them somewhere in the darkness, and the sheet burned too. My parents heard my cries as they rushed in, turning on the light before I could cover myself completely with the sheet. They saw what no parents should have to see, their child covered with the tiniest of scales, sparkling like green frost. I struggled out of bed, holding the sheet to me. "Turn off the light," I shouted. My father obeyed. My mother had screamed once, and he did not want her to have to scream again. He did not want to scream himself at the sight of me. And he didn't want to scream, I fought. I made myself feel my skin, my human skin. When I did, the scales skidded sideways away from mind's eye, only to take another piece of skin somewhere else. I clenched every muscle in my body. I made my skin taut. I beat at myself with my hands, but this made the scales skitter too, like water flowing away and back again. If every inch of my skin became scales, it would be over. It would happen in a flash, as it had that moment in Assisi, when the stag breathed on me and the owl touched me, and the world changed because I had to. I'd come back that time, but wouldn't this time. If I couldn't stop the scales, it would be over. Where was I? It was my bedroom, but it was the sea, and I was floating, a poet dreaming of a child as he drowned, while a child on a beach somewhere recited the poet's poems and dreamed of drowning. But it was also a crack in the earth leading to a light that would keep me and my green brothers and sisters warm forever if I would only let it. "You know you wish this," the village said, and it was right, and yet I could not be its green skittering thing. I held in my soul's eye the faces of my friends, Maurizio, Marco, Gianluca, Carlo, and our teacher, and Livia, the girl on the beach, and Chicho, my dog, and even Keith, and his brother, and my mother and father, who were there in the darkness with me, not saying a word, scared. The fire in my skin burned without a flame, and yet the green scales glowed in the darkness. I heard my father gasp. My mother started to cry, helpless and hopeless, but then said, "No." Telling herself I knew that anger was better than sadness, that anger might save her son if she only knew what to do with it. "Leave him alone," she shouted suddenly. My father stepped toward me, wanting to help too. "Don't touch me." I said it gently, a quiet scream. He stopped moving. I was standing there, the sheet no longer against me, struggling inside my skin to keep it. "Brothers and sisters of the sun, it isn't time," I was saying. Their little faces chattered, pleaded, cajoled. "If not now, when? When I no longer need my body." This they did not wish to hear. They ran up and down my legs and arms, touching every inch of me with talons and tongues. I was lost. It is his body, my father said then. It was a voice I'd never heard him use and one I'd never hear him use again. It is his body, my mother said too, without words. The lizards wouldn't give up. They were flowing now in wave after wave from the olive groves through the open window, covering me. My face, my eyes, my naked body. They squirmed between my fingers, in my ears, up my nose, between my toes, touching every piece of me they could, and as they touched it, the fire grew. The room was growing larger, and I knew what this meant. It was nearly done, complete, and I'd soon join them, leaving with them only on tiny feet through the bedroom window, lost to this world and to myself. It is my body, I heard myself shout. The room stopped growing. The lizards fell still. It is my body, I shouted again, and a great sigh rose from the little bodies in the darkness. 3 voices had said it now, the truth, that my body was mine to leave or keep. That's